Thank you all. My name is Charles Marsala. I currently live at 231 North Roadway in the West End area of town. I grew up at Clearview and West Esplanade and do a lot with Jefferson Parish, as my parents did as well. And thank you for your Veterans Day events. I mean, Jefferson Parish and the way you ran this meeting is very professional, top of the line. I currently now produce a TV show called Celebrating Culture, and this month we are airing segments on honoring our veterans, which actually included a segment. I flew in the plane that recently crashed, and we did a story on those gentlemen. Very amazing men that kept the Texas Raider flying. That'll be airing on WGNO Saturday at 6:30 in the morning and Sunday on WLAE at 9 p.m. But what I also wanted to ask you is, since I live in the marina and there's development and stuff going on with that, right now I would assume that the 100-foot stretch deep, with about 400 feet long, is actually a park. So maybe it needs to be in the Park and Rec budget. You have about 15 heritage oak trees there, and I look at them every day and they're deteriorating, and there's sofas in the road, and nothing's being maintained there. So while that's not being used since Katrina, it's actually now become a park as opposed to maybe being the entrance to the restaurants. So in the meantime, it would seem that it should be in the Park and Rec budget to do maintenance on that area. Another thing I'd like to know is, did FEMA provide any funds for restoring that area? We've cleaned up a lot along breakwater and done a lot of repairs in the Jefferson Parish part on the seawall. Nothing's been done. So to this point, it would seem like it's time to start addressing that. Maybe there's matching funds available or other things, but it'd be great to start working with you to bring that up, because after 17 years, that parking lot is sitting empty, it's fenced off, and we could just clean it up. So those are my 2 points to think about.
Right?
Yeah, let me just, and thank you for coming. The area that has all of the debris, the boats, the things sitting on it is actually a property owned by New Orleans. So that portion Jefferson Parish doesn't have any control over. So that would be better addressed to our council colleagues in New Orleans, because they own that property and would have the authority to clear it. It is fenced off. I know, and Mark Drews may be able to address this, and we may have to get back to you. I remember several years ago that for some reason Jefferson Parish could not put in a claim for FEMA to help repair the balustrade as New Orleans did. I don't remember the specifics, but we looked at it at the time and were unable to do so. But I do appreciate what you're saying, that small portion along the waterfront sits in Jefferson Parish. The majority of the property, of course, is owned by Orleans.
Sure. There is a street. There's a sign that says entering Jefferson Parish.
But again, again, I can send you the map. It's the edge along the road, along the waterfront, that sits in Jefferson. Beyond that, to the east, is all Orleans, and so it's under their purview.
But is the stuff that sits in Jefferson the responsibility of Jefferson?
Again, we can look into, I remember there was an impediment to us filing a claim. So sometimes it's not as, we can look into it. I don't have an answer for you now, but that space, you have to remember too, it sits part in Jefferson, is owned by Orleans, and is reclaimed water bottom from the state of Louisiana. So it's not a simple answer.
Just that there's 25 heritage oak trees that are dying and they need to be taken care of, whether I didn't know if they were yours, so we can now look at Orleans, but nobody is taking care of those trees right now. Thank you.
Councilman Talbot, if I may.
Yes, Councilman Impostado.
I just wanted to thank Mr. Marsala for coming to our chambers today. Many people don't know, I'll just take the opportunity, many people may not know Charlie's contribution to our community. He is has dedicated his life actually to the Italian-American heritage, certainly in our area. Is an award-winning film producer, on one of the mass murders that occurred for the Sicilians here in New Orleans around the turn of the century. And but talk about civic-minded. He has been part of public-private partnerships we had in Kenner on some of our monuments that we put up, and is a real public servant with no compensation in return. So, but I just wanted to thank you, and not that we're the forgotten children or anything, but because we're not. But I want to thank you for what you've done for our community, and just it's overall we support cultural diversity in our parish, and this is certainly part of it. So thanks for what you do, Charlie.
Thank you. And Dominic, I'll use that opportunity to say we're looking to air that film in Kenner. It actually came in second in a national competition out of 300 films. We're looking to have an Italian-American film festival in Jefferson Parish.
And since we're on it, it includes Justice of the Peace Kevin Santani,
Yes.
Judge Steve Windhorst.
Yes.
Who else?
And Max Nasser.
You didn't have to say that, but
It includes Judge Canizaro, Mayor Cantrell, and a few other people that played in that film. They did a great job acting for people who hadn't been actors, and they did their roles very well for what they were scheduled to do. But we've also done the Kenner Italian Festival. There's a film on that we've done. We've produced over 250 videos that are now made into a show that airs every week on WGNO and WLAE. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone else? Just please state your name for the record, ma'am.